Let's get ready for a hotly anticipated main event. And as we mentioned, back on October 4, when Arturo Gatti survived his latest life and death battle with Gabriel Willis, and very shortly after that, he said that he would go ahead and give a chance to the man who has been dogging him for more than a year. He elected to go ahead and take on Angel Manfredy. Gatti's been compared to Rocky Graziano because of the nature of his fights. If so, Manfredy is Tony Zale. He even comes from Zale's hometown, Gary, Indiana.
This guy looks like a street guy. I mean, he got tattoos all on him, you know. He's scarred, he looks nasty, and calls himself the devil, but his name's Angel, and he's always talking about the Lord, you know what I mean? And well, is this guy confused, you know? No, I'm not confused. I'm just letting people know that what side are you going to take?
In which direction would Angel Manfredy's contradictory life turn? Growing up as a street fighter in tough East Chicago, Indiana, he was surely destined for trouble.
This is where the boxers from hell train. You don't get no closer to hell than this.
I had friends that are gangbangers. I had friends that are drug dealers. I had friends that were, you know, doing the drugs and everything.
4 years ago, the drug-using, hell-raising teenager reached a breaking point in one final confrontation with his dad.
He kept on asking me, you know, do you do drugs? Do you do drugs? And I told him. And it kind of hurt. And I could see his face. And that's one person I wanted to, he's a person I wanted to prove that he was a man that I wanted to prove that I could be somebody.
But his tailspin intensified. Already an out-of-control driver with 10 car wrecks, Manfredy, blinded by booze and rain, cheated death in his 11th accident, splitting apart both the telephone pole and his face.
Never go back. Never. Then I just remember blanking out and begging the Lord for my life, for another chance. And then me waking up in the hospital, and all I was thinking about was, would I be able to fight again?
The near-death experience inspired Angel Manfredy to Christianity. And miraculously, with about 200 stitches still healing, he was back in the gym 10 days later. Angel's recovery led his dad and the family to reunite with the once lost warrior. Now his brother John serves as Angel's manager, pumping his fighting spirit with even more determination.
Take care of business. We're gonna take care of business, all right.
Angel Manfredy scores a sensational 8th round knockout.
Just pick a person apart. Take his soul. Take his heart.
He looks like a circus act, but he is a fighter.
Back from the dead in the wake of his accident, Angel took the dark side of his past to heart and nicknamed himself El Diablo. Along with the devil persona came a growing passion for tattoos. Last count, over 20.
Part of my life, which is half devil, half angel, half black, half color. We go down to the fire. It's basically flames. The trademark going around my shoulder means speed. Devil himself, which is the face of me. Then you go into the angel side, the half of me. Color basically means power. Manfredy, Puerto Rican, which means my love for my race.
If you don't change your life, you end up 6 feet under. You know, as I take off that mask, I feel all the angels are with me.
Tonight, the reborn devil in disguise faces his biggest test in Arturo Gatti. Angel Manfredy's evil image goes only so far. It's his ring skills that will determine his true identity. They continue to warm up in their respective dressing rooms. Coming up live in just a few minutes, Arturo Gatti against Angel Manfredy in the early fireworks fight of 1998. Larry Merchant, In a recent telecast of a Manfredy fight here, you said that he looks like something out of the circus.
And he thinks he's the cannon as well. He reminds me of the young Hector Camacho and Jorge Paez showman boxers, who in turn remind me of the old football coach who recruited a tumbler from a gym class, used him as a man in motion on the first play of a game, and while everybody was watching him do backflips across the field, the quarterback handed the ball to the fullback, who slammed up the middle for 15 yards. What you first see in Manfredy is not what you get. And there are a lot of people in boxing, Jim, who think he can slam up the middle against Gatti and into the end zone, in fact.
Well, he's shown himself to be a sharp, accurate, fluid, creative puncher. And George Foreman, he gets to go in against a guy who is accustomed to bailing himself out with his big punching power, who's also accustomed to getting in a lot of trouble. Now, what's the better frame of mind for Manfredy, to be thinking about what great opportunities he's going to have to get Gatti in trouble, or to be thinking about the danger that faces him once he does?
Well, Manfredy should try and win every round. Don't go for the knockout. If he gets a knockdown, go back to the same thing that brought you the knockdown. Don't start to mix it up. It can easily turn into Gatti's kind of fight. He can win it, but he's got to stay slick, stay in the right mood. The trainers are going to have the biggest fight tonight, not to start mixing it up, turn it into a brawl.
So Manfredy has to be disciplined enough to remember that he's the boxer and his advantage is to box.
Get a knockdown, go right back into boxing. Gatti should try to keep it a brawl.
Although Manfredy himself has a warrior personality and even said, I'm going to go right after him. That may not be the most advisable thing to do. When you get Arturo Gatti in trouble, you are in the jaws of the lion. Arturo Gatti's fighting style comes straight out of central casting for Hollywood boxing melodrama.
Can you believe Arturo
Gatti? What a drama! He fights continuously on the verge of defeat.
He takes a hard one on the chin, and another. Rodriguez turns it around.
Whether on the canvas or swollen blind, he presses on.
My nominee for Fight of the Year.
The 27-year-old Gatti began making a name for himself in December of '95 when he fought for Tracy Patterson's junior lightweight belt. After controlling the early rounds, Gatti took serious punishment as the fight progressed.
Gatti unable to defend himself now.
With his eyes rapidly closing, he showed his resiliency.
I didn't see the punches coming in the 11th and 12th. And I'm sure there's a time for everybody in a lifetime. So you want to keep going and you want to quit. And when my eyes were shut, I was tired, fatigue, a lot of fatigue, and but inside of my heart, I knew I wanted to be the world champion, and I showed the whole world that I was a true champion.
Off a gutty decision, Gatti's stature as a crowd pleaser took root. 3 months later, it was solidified in his first title defense. Dropped for the first time, Gatti had to confront his worst fears.
Down on a short left hook inside. On the verge of superstardom, Arturo Gatti is in serious trouble.
It's a scary moment, and it don't last too long, but it feels like a lifetime. I see my career go by in a matter of seconds. I say fear is good to have fear inside of you. Fear of all you've sacrificed all your life. Fear is the one that keeps you going.
Cover your left eye or it's over. How many fake? Guy said cover. How many fake? Now.
The funny thing about him in that fight and in all his great fights, just when it appears he's in the point of losing, that's when the other guy's in big trouble and he turns around and finds a way to win the fight.
Arturo Gatti, comeback win.
These back-to-back brawls played out like Rocky and the sequel. Then against Gabe Ruelas, Gatti fought another Oscar-winning performance. Seemingly hopeless at the end of the 4th round, the champ claims he used the crowds to spur him on.
Ruelas with a chance.
It's when I'm hurt or I'm in trouble. I know I'm in trouble. I see everything and I hear all the crowd. I see my trainer, I see my mom ringside, and looking at that, you know, it inspires me a lot. It kind of wakes me up.
With his corner pleading for him to outbox Ruelas, Gatti opted instead for his all-out war approach, defending the title in spectacular fashion.
My life is on the line. Like, people got to understand it. Yes, I got to hit a lot, but I got to do what it takes to win the fight.
It is never says no more.
Can you believe Arturo
Gatti? At the end, I would say, can this kid go on doing that? Can he take that much of abuse? I'm not worried about what's going to happen to me. We're not playing tennis there or golf. It's fighting.
But Gatti has paid a high price for his victories. His his tendency to swell up, his impatience in the ring, his willingness to absorb punishment, all raise serious questions about his future.
He's flawed, which causes him problems, and then he overcomes those flaws, and people love to see that. But Gatti's love affair with the buzz of the crowd is what's going to get him in the end, because he's paying too high a price to win all these fights, and eventually the same crowd that is hollering his name is going to be, you know, barely silently sitting there when he gets pounded out by somebody, because he's asking too much of himself.
I'm happy to walk out of the ring and people say, wow, that's just the greatest fight I've ever seen. I got a reputation to be the warrior. So the warrior has got to beat every fight. People will never be upset to come and see Arturo Gatti fight. Never.
So for the face-first slugger, the trick now is to maintain his blood and guts reputation without endangering his future. But Arturo Gatti accepts nothing less than fistic melodrama. It's the script that got him this far. And for Gatti, it's been a blockbuster. Back live at ringside, and Larry Merchant, you heard Ron Borges of the Boston Globe articulating the widespread point of view that Gatti is a certain kind of fool that likes to hear the sound of his own name. What's your take on the whole notion that he's just too exciting for his own good?
Well, he's not too exciting for my own good.
Oh, boy.
Because I love him. I guess my first response is, so what? I mean, sometimes a comet that streaks across the sky for a week moves us in a way that a fixed star really doesn't. There's nothing more exciting in all of sport than a fighter who can fight, wants to fight, and can punch. If we had a couple of dozen like Arturo Gatti, the networks would be spending all those billions of dollars on boxing and not on the NFL. Secondly, we don't really know that he's going to have a short career. I ran into Don Turner this afternoon on the boardwalk, and we were talking about that. Don Turner trains a pretty good action fighter named Evander Holyfield, and he said, well, listen, Henry Armstrong had a long career. Carmen Basilio had a long, great career. Tommy Hearns had long, great careers. And if they lost, people still wanted to see him. Jim, whatever happens to Arturo Gatti, it's the perils of Arturo, and I want to be there when it happens.
There's another implication in the way he fights, too. And George Foreman, all of Gatti's handlers love to point out that he can box, that he has boxing skills, and that if he would simply discipline himself to do it, he could win all of these fights by boxing instead of going to war. But it seems to me likely that when a guy is able to rescue himself as often as Arturo does, eventually he doesn't feel as though he needs to maintain all those boxing skills.
That's right, and all those useless hours in the gym. Box, Gatti, box. It's not going to work. This guy knows that deep down he can pull him out with one punch. He's going to be ready to do that in the fight, and no matter how much the trainers tell him, I'm just not going to do it.
That's great.
It's in him. You came in through blood and guts. You're going to leave out that way.
Well, all that means we're likely to see more of the same here tonight, so let's get ready for it. Tail of the tape now between Arturo Gatti and Angel Manfredy, and you can see the 2-year age advantage for Manfredy, 2-inch height advantage for Gatti. They weighed in at 135 pounds, and Gatti insisted on the fight being made at 135 instead of his previous weight at 130. Now, when he weighed 130 before the Gabriel Uelos fight, he came into the ring at 146. Tonight, after weighing in at 135, he again comes into the ring at 146. Manfredy, as you see, will be giving up 4 pounds of real weight in the ring. Angel, however, has the 3-inch reach advantage, and that could be significant if, in fact, he's able to make it a boxing match. Punch stat numbers, Larry.
These are the numbers that both fighters amassed against Wilson Rodriguez. You can see that despite his both eyes being shut, Gatti threw more punches against Rodriguez, both throwing about the same degree of accuracy. But here are the numbers of the punches that Rodriguez landed against them, and there is a clear edge for Manfredy, who held him to half of the number of punches that Gatti did.
Rules of the bout with Harold Letterman, who weighs the same today as he did yesterday.
The Arturo Gatti Angel Manfredy fight is scheduled for 12 rounds, non-title. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right, Harold. Devil or angel? Which one will he be?
Now, Jim, wasn't there a rock song in the long ago called "I'm a Devil, I'm an Angel"?
Oh, something like that. Yeah.
You know, some people say this is too much like wrestling. I have no problem whatsoever with this kind of an act any more than I did with Prince Ahmed, George, because the difference between this and wrestling is only this is staged, the fights are real.
Well, isn't wrestling real also? Sometimes I believe those guys are real.
Well, it's real fake, George.
Oh.
People who watch wrestling want to be sure of the outcome. We're never sure of the outcome.
George is such a romantic, isn't he? Manfredy walking at a pace that would seem to indicate that he saw the Prince Nassim entrance last month at Madison Square Garden. Maybe Angel will invest in some confetti and a ramp for his future appearances.
Yeah, well, the Prince proved that you can dance, but you can't hide.
And the music runs out before El Diablo makes it into the ring. We take a look at Manfredi's record. He lost his very first fight when he was severely overmatched against a 10-round fighter with a ton of experience. Since then, he's 22-1-1 with 18 K. Within 2 rounds, the other 5 are the stuff of legends. And now let's go to Michael Buffer for the official intros.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of Bally's Park Place, Atlantic City main events, along with Peltz Boxing and your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Present the featured bout of the evening. Sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr., Chairman Jerry Gormley, Board members Gary Shaw and Stephen Katz, Deputy Commissioner John Greco, physicians in attendance at ringside, Dr. Dominic Coletta Jr., Dr. Ken Remsen, Dr. Howard Taylor, and Dr. Richard Snepar. The timekeeper at the bell is Lindsey Tucker. Counting for the knockdowns, alternate referee Brian O'Melia. The three judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Henry Grant, Joseph Pasquale, and Alan Rubenstein. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Wayne Hedgepeth. And now the moment we've been waiting for. 12 rounds of boxing as two world title holders move from 130 pounds to the lightweight division. So for the thousands in attendance here at Bally's Park Place, Atlantic City, and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white with red and weighing 135 pounds. His professional record, 22 victories with 18 knockouts. He has 2 defeats with 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the pride of Indiana, the reigning WBU Junior Lightweight Champion of the World, Manfredy.LW.1998.01.27. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white, trimmed with blue, and also weighing 135 pounds. His professional record, 29 victories, 24 by knockout with only 1 defeat. From Jersey City, New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the reigning IBF Junior Lightweight Champion of the World, Arturo Thunder Gatti.
Angel. Good evening, gentlemen. You're both professionals. Remember that. Obey my commands at all times and protect yourself at all times. Let's have a good, clean bout.
All right, baby. For boxing fans, this is the first big fight of '98. Happy New Year. And let's keep in mind, gentlemen, that Gatti did fight 2 hard-fought boxing victories over Tracy Patterson.
One dark cloud on the horizon for Manfredy. Although he denies it, sources in his training camp indicate that he suffered a rib injury in training 3.5 weeks ago. It is awfully difficult to come back from a significant rib injury and be 100% in a fight. Rib injury supposedly was on the left side of his rib cage again. Angel says, no, that's not true. Various other sources indicate, without wanting to be named, that he did get a bad bruise on the rib cage. Crowd settles into relatively hushed anticipation of the fireworks that are expected in this one. Gatti working behind the jab, so is Angel as the first round develops.
That was a good heavy right hand by Gatti.
Absolutely right. Left hook to the body by Manfredy. Chopping right over the top by Manfredy. Grazed the front of Gatti's face. Gatti a little bit less active now than he was in the first minute of the fight. Now Arturo goes back to working behind the jab. One solid right hand already landed by Gatti. His trainer, Hector Rocha, says everybody knows about his left hook. I'm working to make his right hand better every day.
Manfredy is the better boxer. If he spent the first 3 rounds missing and getting a rhythm to his punches, he can do a lot better than trying to mix it up too quick.
Brady lands punches from all angles. He's very sharp and very quick. You saw the low blow by Angel Manfredy and the brief warning from Wayne Hedgebeth to keep it up.
The mistake you can make with Gatti is you start bobbing and weaving. He'll have you doing that all night without landing a punch. So Manfredy should, after you make him miss, hit him back.
2 good body shots and a left upstairs by Gatti. Angel Manfredy misses with a wild swinging left. Very tight, compact first round by Gatti, who's managed to do some damage. And Brady's been landing as well. Straight right hand by Manfredy. Watch the eyes of both fighters. Manfredy landing a solid right hand again.
And there's a cut already over the left eye of Gatti. It could be dangerous.
Well, of course.
Keep it clean.
Yep, the blood is starting to flow from above the left eye as Arturo Gatti goes back to his corner, already cut in the bout.
It's all right. Fine. Come on,
Joe Souza, one of the best cut men in the business, going to work.
Don't lock yourself. You try to keep your chin on, you're locking yourself. Okay. You understand what I say? All right. You try to keep that chin low, you want to lock yourself. Don't move. You start good, no? You start getting locked. Okay, don't lock yourself, huh? Tell loose. Okay? Okay. It's nothing, that's in the top only. You got Vaseline, Joe? Yeah, I got it. Okay, don't lock yourself, huh? Come on, you want
a quick right by Manfredy, open the cut. Gatti has been vulnerable to that punch in the past. Tracy Patterson almost won their first match with that kind of a punch. A lead, quick right hand.
What Manfredy has to do now is don't pay any attention to the cut. Keep your mind and your eye on the fight. The cut doesn't mean anything to Gatti.
And you saw the thunderous left hook by Gatti that temporarily knocked Manfredy off balance, but Manfredy, when he gets back into his stance, lands consistently. In round 1, Gatti threw 76 punches, landed 28, Manfredy 22 out of 57. Both fighters landing as they stand in the center of the ring and trade shots. Gatti threw 55 jabs in the first round. He's still working behind the jab. If he gets in any more trouble, you will see him go to power shots.
I can tell you, Manfredy likes the way this fight is going. It's a boxing match. Believe me, he can get the best of Gatti. Keep it a boxing match, Manfredy, and make it a brawl for Gatti.
Manfredy lands another flush right hand. Gatti with a habit of dropping the left, and Angel is taking advantage of it big time in these first 2 rounds.
I think so, but he's also paying too much attention to that, to the left eye of Gatti. Go back to the body, get some of the juice taken out of that bubble first.
Angel Manfredy so focused before the fight. One of those cases where it was hard to tell. Is he too far in his zone of his own, or is he properly positioned? First 2 rounds looking good for Angel. Gatti continuing to box, working the left jab. He's only landed a couple of those thunder left hooks that are his trademark. Manfredy continues to land right hand leads across the top. Now they start to swing away.
Gatti is well schooled. You see Manfredy bob and weave and get low. Gatti gets low also with him.
Left hand body shot by Manfredy. Follows with a left and a right combination. Angel Manfredy has it going his way.
Now this can be a mistake for Angel Manfredy. Stay with your boxing. Everything came about by way of one shot here and there. Don't try for a finish too quick.
Gatti just missing with a right-hand shot. Manfredy able to duck and slip most of Gatti's heavy power shots early. Angel is by far the more elusive of the two. Good body work by Gatti. And his own straight right hand lands. The blood continues to flow from above the left eye of Arturo Gatti as round 2 comes to a close.
Arturo, listen, we have to finish with that left hook. You understand? You're not doing your in out. You're right front of the guy waiting.
Go ahead. Arturo, can you see okay?
Yeah. You understand what I said, Arturo? You don't got no move. You're right front of the guy.
You're forgetting what we worked on, the 1-2. That's what you caught him with. I want that more. Right off the jab. If you could hit him with 2 jabs, you could hit him with a right hand. Okay? And come back with the hook. After everyone will come back with the hook.
You're waiting too long. You're waiting too long. Don't wait on it. Get yours off first. Okay?
And I want more lateral movement. More lateral movement after your punches.
You're standing there, baby. Don't stand there.
Manfredy comes to Gatti and seems to believe that he has the quicker hands and is beating Gatti to the punch more often than not.
Manfredy with much to be confident about now. In the second round, Angel Manfredy threw 37 power punches and landed 24 of them, a 65% connect rate.
The perils of Arturo continue.
No question. Angel Manfredy's 2 co-trainers, John Taylor and Sam Colonna, not well known in the sport. They'll be much better known after tonight if their man can box Gatti out of the ring. And you saw the solid combination there by Manfredy. A right and then a left, landing flush.
What's so good about what Manfredy is doing, he lands a good shot and he steps out of range, which he better because Gatti intends to land one back.
Whitaker seated at ringside, good buddy of Arturo Gatti, yelling at his man to use the jab more. But you heard Gatti's trainer, Hector Rocha, between rounds, asking his fighter to finish combinations with the left hook. And Gatti slaps his chin to say, come on, hit me in the jaw. Solid right hand again by Manfredy. Gatti misses with his right, but goes to the body with a combination. Manfredy with a left hook upstairs.
And the good thing about Gatti, he is going to the body. He gets hit hard on the head, but he goes right back to the body. That can make a difference if this fight goes beyond 7 or 8 rounds.
Solid jabs by Gatti. Manfredy slowing down his punch output. Gatti taking advantage, and he lands a left hook. Missed with the right hand. Wayne Hedgebeth tells Manfredy to keep him up. Second warning. Down goes Gatti on a perfect left hook. Textbook left hook by Manfredy.
And he is hurt badly, otherwise he wouldn't have gotten up that quickly. Plenty of time to finish this. But frequently, as we've seen, Gatti is at his most dangerous right now.
Hard to imagine Gatti coming back from this. Manfredy pinpointing his punches as he tries to finish. Now Arturo starts to throw roundhouse shots. He's leaving some openings, but he's still dangerous.
Now, Manfredy makes a mistake. He starts the old crossover too soon for that. You let Gatti close in, he's going to stay in. Keep boxing. Forget about finishing him this round. Stay with your boxing.
Gatti gradually regaining his legs. Lands a solid right hand. And a left hook. Vintage Gatti as he comes back from trouble by providing trouble to the opponent. Left hook lands again. Gatti backing Manfredy up as the round comes to a close.
Go back to
Arturo, don't drop your hands. When I said don't go so wild.
I'm not worried about the time. Arturo talking, you all right? Feel good?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Okay,
with the right hand. I want the shots up the middle. You're forgetting that what we worked on. I want the shots up the middle. Okay?
Remember
I want
that
the
downstairs.
Shot. Listen, you want this guy out? Get the shot up the middle. He's gonna go.
Manfredy is fighting under control for the most part. He has quicker hands very often. You see the left hook right flush on the jaw and nose.
So Gatti has been cut and he has been knocked down. Angel Manfredy has established himself early and is fighting his fight. You heard his trainer saying, go back to throwing shots up the middle, quit winging them to the side. Gatti eager to get at his man as he tries to come back.
Gatti going right back to the body of Manfredy. That's very important at this point.
Harold Letterman, how'd you score the first 3 rounds?
Wow, Jim, 29-27, 2 rounds to 1. Angel Manfredy. I still gave him a 10-8 round in the third. I thought Gatti won the first, but I'm really impressed by that lead right hand of Angel Manfredy and that left hook of Angel Manfredy. 2-1, Manfredy.
Arturo Gatti remembering to go to the body and now pounding away at Manfredy's ribcage with vicious shots, rights and lefts, and staying almost exclusively downstairs. And now Manfredy drops his hands. And Gatti is making his presence felt with these body punches, George.
This guy is well trained. Manfredy has never had a body attack of this sort. A guy's taller, he's able to reach in and get something to the side every couple of rounds.
Gatti just missing with the kind of left hook that floored Gabriel Ellis.
Now Manfredy is allowing Gatti to get even closer. This you don't want, but it's because of the effectiveness of those body punches.
Big round so far for Gatti. Now Manfredy remembers the instruction to come up the middle and lands a straight left and a straight right. Arturo a little bit punched out right now. Not as much zip in the punches. 1 minute to go in the round.
But because of those effective body punches, if he's able to get a knockdown, Manfredy is not getting up.
Watch your elbows.
Manfredy lands the straight right, but backs up. Manfredy not nearly as aggressive now as he was before the body assault by Gatti. Another left hook lands for Manfredy. Not as much sting. Gatti still coming forward, starting to feel it.
You know, a boxer's greatest fear in those dressing rooms, I don't want to be hurt. Gatti, he has not got that kind of fear.
Well, he knows he's going to be hurt.
He anticipates getting hurt.
He's a high-risk fighter who takes chances, pays for them, and then comes back and redeems the account.
All right, keep it clean.
Hard left hook by Gatti. Goes back to the jab.
That's what you want to do to a boxer. Make him miss, take his confidence away. And that's what Gatti just did.
A big round for Arturo Gatti after he had been decked and almost knocked out in the third.
The drama king is at it again.
Well, let's take a look back and see how it's happened in the past. We've been talking about this, but just to remind you, Gatti against Wilson Rodriguez, March 23, 1996. Rodriguez decking him in the second round after closing both eyes in the first round. Then in the sixth round, that left hook, goodbye Rodriguez. Gatti against Gabe Ruelas, October 4 of last year. Ruelas almost putting Gatti away in the fourth round, coming back and punishing him in the fifth. But then that Gatti left hook put an end to that one. It's the same kind of finish that Arturo will be looking for as he tries to come from behind against Angel Manfredy here.
He's ready. Keep working that body, but bring your hand back. Okay? Second day.
Left water, fam. Left water.
Stay in your corner.
Hey, 3 and 4 punches.
Stay in your corner.
In round 4, Arturo Gatti threw 95 punches and landed 50 of them. Many, many to the supposedly damaged ribcage of Angel Manfredy.
Now Manfredy, all he has to do is play wise and just box. Go with the flow. Don't try to charge this guy. Let Gatti keep coming, jab him, go to the body occasionally. Let the fight develop. Don't take it to Gatti and let it develop.
Gatti going back to the body and then upstairs. Manfredy coming up the middle as his trainers have told him to do. Manfredy back to looking more assertive as round 5 begins.
Keep him up, Angel.
Gatti starting to land more solidly, seemingly aware that the body punches do the damage for him. Manfredy continues to land quick shots upstairs. Not as many in combination as was the case earlier.
Oh, but those body punches.
Hard shots by both fighters. Low blow by Gatti. Edgebeth warns him. No point deductions on either side so far. Souza, the cut man, has done a sensational job of keeping Gatti from further damage above the left eye. Short right hand landed flush for Manfredy.
It seemed like it hurt Manfredy's right hand more than it did Gatti's head.
Another good round for Manfredy now as he plays target practice on Gatti's chin. Gatti coming back with power shots.
Manfredy has taken all of the power off his punches now and going for accuracy and on the button shots.
And I know you like that. You like that.
Power comes.
Crowd chanting Gatti.
I don't like the fact that Manfredy is standing that close to Gatti. It allows him to get a little courage where he doesn't need courage.
Not using his feet.
No, you got to use your footwork. Hit 2 and 3 and move out of the way.
Gatti just missing with that left hook. Landed one beforehand. Blood starting to flow again from above the left eye. Arturo seems oblivious to it. Lands a combination. Hard uppercut. Backing Manfredy up.
Manfredy has some chin, Jim.
He sure does.
Looks like his father gave him that chin from the steel mills of Gary.
The thing about having a chin, you never get in the ring with guys like this but once in a lifetime.
Okay, baby.
No worse.
Okay?
Come on, I gotta work,
Nice,
son.
nice, looking good.
I gotta work.
Okay? Use me my jab. Use my jab. No distance. Give him a little distance. Don't step too close at him.
Up the middle. That's where he's the most weak.
Take deep breath.
You're not coming up the middle enough, okay? Take your time, stay loose.
Yes.
Don't get tight.
Yes.
Okay, stay loose.
Yes.
Keep that jab moving inside. When you're inside short, keep him off you with the jab when he's coming in. Understand? Give me a ring. Give me some water for his mouth.
When we say HBO, that's 30 seconds. If we holler, HBO.
Close of the round. Gatti's still strong.
Stay in your corner. Stay in your corner, Arturo.
Big combination. If he hadn't won the round by then, that won it for him.
What a round. Did you see the punch stat numbers? Gatti 51 out of 106. Manfredy 44 out of 95. Together they landed 95 punches in the round. That was blistering action.
Now, Manfredy should go right back to getting in the accuracy because Gatti has a defense for big power punches, but he does not have a defense for the small shots. Accurate shot, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Gatti trying to decoy Manfredy, looking downstairs and throwing the left hook upstairs. Manfredy well in control of the situation when he keeps his feet, stays in a boxing stance. Gatti able to come through and lands a big left hook, but no apparent damage to Angel. The body shots seem to hurt Angel more. Hard left hand to the body by Manfredy. Suddenly Gatti stops throwing. Another left hook for Thunder. Angel with a combination.
Watch your heads. Watch your head, fellas.
for 12 rounds. It is impossible to imagine both fighters making it the distance at this pace.
If Manfredy is able to move off with his jab now and throw some of those shots, he'll be a little more better off for it.
Well, you saw him land that left hook to the body, left uppercut combination. He came back and tried it again. Angel Manfredy, as we told you at the beginning, lands shots from all angles, and he's proven it here tonight. Gatti with another thunderous left hook, backs up Manfredy again.
Manfredy goes forward with the shorter punches.
Oh, Manfredy has some chin, as Larry Merchant pointed out.
All right, break. Keep it clean in there.
Now Manfredy is doing the job of the matador. He stays close and goes in with shorter punches. Staying closer to the bull.
Gatti leaping through his left hook that time, but not as many body punches as he was able to land in rounds 4 and 5. And halfway through, this bout is everything it was cracked up to be and more.
Which amazes me, Jim.
How could this bout outlive its hype? But it's doing it.
Okay, Arturo, in this round we have to try, okay? Keep your hand high, get close, and put me some punch. Come on. Come on, Papa, you good?
Yeah,
Okay, let's do it. Come on. Let's turn the body. With both hands.
All right, work the other hand. That's all. Just work it. You understand? Yeah. Work it.
Nothing's stopping. We don't know if it's good.
Okay? I want you to work underneath and over, both. Not just the...
Early in the round, left hook by Gatti. Manfredy just walks through it. The advice in the corner of Gatti was, now step it up. Can he step it up?
Well, he's got to do something. Manfredy landed 52 of 81 punches in round 6. A connect percentage of 64%. 40 of them were power shots. Gatti just can't win if Manfredy's going to be allowed to connect at that rate.
Manfredy, whenever he turns this into a boxing match, it gets easier and easier for him. Gatti, when he turns into a fight, takes over.
Tough is it to win a war of wills when you got a big cut over your left eye the way Arturo does, though, George?
It just doesn't seem to bother Arturo.
Well, it bothered him there. You saw him squinting, and now he can't see through the left eye, and Angel's taking advantage just to land, and Gatti backs him off with a left hook.
Yeah, you want, when you're trying to finish a guy like Gatti, you don't want to be close to him. You want to do it in a boxer style. Left jab, right hand hook, and back out of the way. Because his instincts are to throw another shot.
Hard right hand shot by Manfredy stuns Gatti, and Gatti can't see the right hand coming with the blood flowing over his eye.
When he's got two eyes, he had trouble with the right hand. Now he has about an eye and a half. I don't know how he can survive this fight or even this round.
And Manfredy is doing an excellent job of watching things.
And here comes Arturo. Just when you count him out, he lands a shot like that. And tries to follow it up with more. What guts.
Gatti is trying to recapture his win a little bit, pace himself a bit. But you just can't do that with a fighter like Gatti.
Gatti loading up a right hand and landing it, but no apparent effect on Manfredy. One of the big stories of the bout so far, Manfredy's ability to take and weather Gatti's thunderous power shots.
I think that is the story of the fight, Tim. The fact that Gatti just has not been able to get Manfredy in trouble yet, even though he has landed some very good shots.
And Manfredy is doing a good job with his footwork. Left sometimes, right sometimes. Moves.
Very few fighters would have survived some of Gatti's best shots.
In case you joined us late, Angel Manfredy opened up a large cut over the left eye of Arturo Gatti in the second round, floored him with a great left hook in the third round, and since then, they have gone at it toe-to-toe.
Look at me.
Let me have a look, Joe.
Arturo Gatti against Tracy Harris Patterson, December of ¡95, looked pretty bad, made it through to a decision victory.
Is your vision okay out there?
That's the way he looked after the fight against Wilson Rodriguez.
You hear the doctor saying that the cut is worse than it was. He's examining it closely.
Come on, you're not letting me work, son.
I would say if he's defending himself and throwing punches, that's up to you. You know what I mean? I mean, it looks like he's still in the fight.
You heard the doctor tell the referee you can keep it going as long as he can defend himself and keep throwing punches.
Okay. So what do you need a doctor for?
Well, only the referee can stop the fight, George. He's there to instruct the referee.
All right, keep it clean, both of y'all. Whatever you do.
The cut man in Gatti's corner has done an amazing job already of keeping him going this long.
Joe Souza, one of the best. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 7?
Jim, I got it all even. I got it 4 rounds to 3 Arturo Gatti, but in points, 66-66. I've got it all even. Manfredy gets an extra point for that knockdown in round 3, and that's why it's even though Gatti's ahead on the, in rounds. But I'll tell you, this is anybody's fight as long as Gatti can hang in with the cut. Incidentally, the referee will always take the advice of the doctor. If the doctor says stop it, the referee's going to stop it.
Thank you. I don't know why the doctor would even talk to the referee about it. Just stop it or not.
All right, come out.
Would you stop it, George, or would you let Arturo Gatti continue?
Well, he's got a left eye. He's gonna need a lot longer than a win in a boxing match. So then, if you're a doctor, you want to be in charge of those things.
Well, he's looking at a lot of stitches and a lot of damage right now. But
then again, you're looking at a fighter who's pulled him out like that before.
Absolutely right. He's won fights in worse condition than this.
But then he's in with a boxer who's taking advantage of that eye also. So.
Yeah, and he's still the aggressor, George.
Yeah, he's the aggressor like a bull after the matador and all the people have stuck the thing in his shoulder.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But you can't stop the fight if he's continuing to fight and be the aggressor.
Manfredy just trying to land with his punches. Gatti trying to knock Manfredy out. That's what he's got to do.
Now you see a bullfighter, they like to see the charging bull once they start sticking with those things.
Keep it clean. Left hook by Gatti was partially blocked by Manfredy. Straight right hand also partially blocked. Manfredy just poking and trying to land and remaining elusive defensively to keep Gatti from being able to nail him with one giant shot.
And he's moving and sticking with his jab occasionally. Just doesn't leave much room for an upset knockout.
Manfredy, who at some times during the fight wasn't using his feet well, is using his feet very well in the 8th.
Yeah, he's looking at that eye. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, but he's not fighting at the same pace as he was earlier. He's moving away. Gatti could steal these rounds, and if he doesn't win a couple of rounds, we have to remember Gatti is fighting basically in his hometown.
Larry, that eye is too bad. They shouldn't let it go on. Blood is starting to come out.
The doctor one more time.
Like a faucet.
Seconds remaining in the round.
Your corner's throwing the ring. He's tossing the towel in. Stop it.
That'll do it. Angel Manfredy has what he wanted. managing Angel Manfredy to a stirring victory over Arturo Gatti.
Yeah, that eye, the blood was starting to pour like a faucet. You don't want to fight in this day and age to see that in a boxing ring. Not at all.
And now they are both big stars. There's the cut that prompted the New Jersey Athletic Commission ring doctor to advise the referee to stop it at the same time that Gatti's corner was apparently throwing in the towel.
I think Manfredy did an excellent job of boxing. Never started to fight.
I knew I could beat Gatti.
He kept his head.
Kept his head.
All I can say is, God bless you.
Thank you, Angel. Well, we should get a chance to talk to both fighters. Larry Merchant already up in the ring. Promoter Cedric Kushner coming over to ask Arturo Gatti if he's okay, and Joe Souza going back to work to try to do what he can to apply a little therapeutic aid. Gatti will be making his customary trip to the hospital after the official decision is announced. Let's go to Michael Buffer right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Wayne Hedgepeth, acting on the advice of ringside physician Dr. Dominic Coletta Jr., had to call a halt to the bout because of a very severe laceration over the left eye. The official time, it comes at the end of round 8. The winner by TKO victory, Angel.L.W.1998.
And on the 3 official scorecards, at the time the fight was stopped, Manfredy led on 2 cards by margins of 2 and 3 points. 1 card had it even, so it was still within reach for Arturo Gatti, but Manfredy was working his way toward a likely decision in the fight, as well as doing the damage that produced the cut. And before we go into the ring to hear from the fighters, let's quickly take a look back at the highlights of what happened in the fight. I mentioned the early cut against Gatti. It was actually in round 1 when that right hand landed and caused the cut over Gatti's eye. In round 2, the blood began to flow, and Manfredy took advantage to land combinations like that left and right. Then in round 3, this terrific left hook put Gatti down, and it looked as though it could be an early knockout victory for Manfredy. But Gatti came back in the 4th and the 5th, dominated those rounds, landing combinations, and then tried to put Manfredy away with his trademark thunderous left hooks. But Manfredy showed his great chin through those rounds and managed to stay on his feet. Then by the 7th round, he began to land combinations again. And by the 8th, that's the way Arturo Gatti looked. And that's why the fight was stopped in favor of Angel Manfredy. And let's go to Larry Merchant in the ring.
All right, thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Angel. You cut him in the very first round, end of the round. Did you feel at that point, I have him?
Well, first, I'd like to thank the Lord, our Savior, Jesus Christ. When I cut him in the first round, it was a bad cut. You know what? I knew they weren't going to stop the fight because it's in his hometown, but he showed the class of a warrior. I told everybody he's a warrior. He's a champion, and that's what champions should do. Get together, bump heads, and let's throw down. That's how it should be.
All right, now tell us about your right hand. You didn't throw it a lot at the end of the fight. Did you hurt it?
I feel it's broken, but like a warrior I am, I was still hitting him with a broken hand. I didn't care. The Lord.
When did you hurt it?
It was like 3 rounds before the last round. And I just told myself, you know what? If I got to be a warrior, I got to suck it up. One hand, no hand. I got to do it, you know? And the warrior that I am, I came out on top. I knew it, and I told all you guys.
All right. One of the major factor in your winning the fight was that you took some of his heaviest artillery. Did he ever hurt you?
I wanted to tell you, he rocked me a couple times, but did not hurt me. I was so mentally strong for this fight. But I mean, he's a strong puncher. You know what I mean? He's a very strong puncher, but he never hurt me. He rattled me a little bit, but mentally, I was there through the whole thing.
What about his body shots? You were supposedly had a rib cage that was bruised several weeks ago. Did he hurt you there?
I was sparring with junior middleweights, welterweights for this fight. I mean, I was sparring with guys that was quality fighters.
Were you hurt coming into this fight?
He caught me with a body shot, knocked the wind out of me a little bit. I, like a true champion, boxed him. He couldn't finish me. I'm a warrior. He couldn't finish me. I slicked him out.
Angel, you want to give him a rematch?
You know what? I really don't know, because you know what? He didn't put his belt on the line. And you know what? A true champion would have put his belt on the line. And right now, all I'm thinking about is to move ahead. I beat him. Now, bring on Prince, baby. Bring on the little showboat, the one that talks the talk and can't walk the walk. Bring on Prince. I want him. He's too small for me. He ain't strong enough for me. Hey, he's nothing compared to Gatti. He's nothing compared to Gatti. I want to shock the world by fighting the best. And right now, he's the name fighter right now that everybody's talking about, as well as me, as well as Gatti. So, hey, bring on Prince, baby.
All right, thank you very, very much.
God bless you. God
Angel,
bless you.
great
God bless
fight.
you.
Back to you, Jim.
All right, Larry, quickly we'll take a look at the final punch stat numbers in this spectacular fight. As Gatti landed 294 out of 692. By the end, they were mostly power shots. Manfredy landed 294, exactly the same number of punches, only throwing 526, an astonishing connect percentage of 56%, made much easier, no doubt, by the cut over Gatti's left eye and Gatti's inability to see out of that eye in the closing rounds. Those are the numbers on the power punches, and when a guy lands nearly 60% of his power punches against you, you are going to be hard-pressed to beat him. And you heard Angel Manfredy in the ring calling out Prince Nassim. He said, I want Prince Nassim next. Standing here with me now is London promoter Frank Warren, the man who represents the new economic linchpin of the lower weight classes. Prince Nassim's been fighting at 126. Obviously, Manfredy can go back to 130 very easily. Where does he rank in the Prince Nassim sweepstakes off this victory, Frank?
Yeah, I think it'd be a fight we'd like to get on, this year, probably around summer. I think it'd be a great fight. Obviously Manfredy's a very good fighter. He's tough. He took some good shots from Gatti. But my guy can punch as well, and it'd be very interesting to see what would happen.
Are you suggesting that the Prince will have one more fight at 126 before possibly looking up to Manfredy at 130?
No, he makes the weight very easy, but he wouldn't have a problem going up just to take that fight at that weight and then drop him back down again.
So it might be the next fight, or you think it's 2 fights down the road?
I think it's about 2 fights down the road. Summer, we'd look like that probably in England.
All right, thanks very much, Frank Warren. So there's your answer for the moment. Angel Manfredy, yes, they might be interested in you. In all probability, they'll be looking to take one more fight first. Let's go back into the ring and hear what Arturo Gatti has to say.
Arturo, you got cut at the very end of the first round. Your thought at the moment, it seems like you knew, damn, I'm in it again.
Yeah, I knew it after the first round. I got cut. I don't know how I did.
Here it is. You'll see it was a sneak right hand. Take a look. Right there.
Yeah, it was well placed, but I wasn't hard enough to cut me. And then I felt the blood dripping down, and I knew I was in trouble after that because it was the first round. And, I tried, after that, I tried to come back stronger and try to hurt him, to let him know I was there, to make him calm down a little bit, not to aim on my cut eye all the time. But Manfredy came very strong. And, hey, I won the fight this time, but the way I gave him the shot to fight me, I deserve a rematch.
Arturo, he says that he hurt his hand and possibly broke it 2 or 3 rounds before the end. Were you aware at all that he wasn't throwing it or throwing it with anything on it?
Well, by then, he did the damage already with his right hand. He cut me, and his right hand never hurt me. I was never hurt. His left hook caught me in surprise, but the damage was there already. The cut was there.
He said that you did hurt him in the body. Did you feel that you were hurting him there, and yet he was able to stay strong and take your best shots?
Yes, he did. He proved that he's a true champ, and I did the best I can. I showed that I am the world champion. I am a true champion. I deserve a second shot against him.
At the end of the day, do you think that his ability to absorb your shots, and not everybody can, was the difference in this fight?
Most probably, but the only difference that I was cut, that's the only reason why I won this fight. If I wasn't cut, I definitely would have knocked him out in the later rounds, because I seemed slowing down a little bit. But the cut did do the magic on the first round, and he was smart to keep hitting me on the left eye.
All right, you're going to need some serious stitching in there, and it'll keep you out of action for a while. When do you think you'll be back, and do you want to fight somebody else before you fight Manfredy?
No, I want Manfredy next. Hopefully you'll be nice enough to give me a rematch.
Thank you very much for another great fight, Arturo.
Thanks.
Jim?
All right, thanks very much. And here's a look at the judges' scorecards at the time at which the fight was stopped. As we told you, even on one card, Manfredy leading by 2- and 3-point margins. On the other 2 cards, working his way toward a likely decision victory if the bout had gone the distance. Well, George Foreman, Gatti's critics have been saying that his fighting style will lead to a short career. Was this further evidence of that?
No doubt about it. He went to the well once too many, and there just wasn't enough water there this time. He tried, but it just wasn't there. If you're going to be a brawler, you got to note these things happen. Start off, win these fights, get them over, and don't wait to keep running back thinking I'll pull it out in the latter rounds. You got to win the first, second, and third, and that way.
What about coming back from a cut like that? He's shown a tendency to want to be too impatient and get into the ring too quickly after bad eye swelling in the past. This requires a long layoff, doesn't it?
No doubt about it. And Manfredy was so smart. After he got the cut, he never tried to finish him off. He just labored, and labored. You should take some time off out. He didn't look bad. As a matter of fact, I'd like to see Gatti fight again.
All right, as the world's biggest Prince Nassim fan, what do you think of Manfredy against Prince Nassim at 130 pounds?
That Prince has got a lot of power, and he is as cagey as Manfredy. That would be an interesting fight. I don't know who would win, but I'm telling you, the Prince would be a show.
He's another guy who's easy to hit, though, and Manfredy's going to have a high connect percentage against him as well, wouldn't he?
Oh, but that Prince is like a fox. He hits you and dances and turns different directions. It's altogether a different show.
Maybe there's a 270-pound Prince fan out there who's bigger than George, but for the moment he remains one of the world's biggest Prince Nassim fans. Thanks a lot, big guy.
Okay.
Another great night. Larry Merchant, it was in many ways everything that we expected it to be. A little bit of an anticlimax because of the stoppage due to a cut, but an entirely justifiable stoppage given the nature of that cut.
Yeah. Just one point about Manfredy and Prince Hamed. I'd be surprised if that fight ever happened.
Really? Why?
Because I think the attraction was to fight Gatti, who was a star, and you put 2 stars together and try to make a whole bunch of money. I'm not sure that Manfredy has reached that yet. Just because you beat a star doesn't make you a star, as we've often found in the past. I did want to say this about Arturo Gatti, however. Most fighters are like textbooks or guidebooks, variations of one kind or another. And this is a young man who I feel is almost like a novel. He's a swashbuckling, flawed hero who more often than not is going to rescue the heroine and get out of the abyss at the end of a great read. It didn't happen tonight. He's young enough to make it happen again, and I expect he will.
Well, it'll be good to see him back. I'm a little amazed, though. You say that even with the tattoos and the devil mask and all that stuff, off a victory like this, Manfredy's not yet a big enough star to fight Prince Nassim.
I think he has to win a couple of more fights so that he can do this a couple of more times. And basically, I think he's really much too strong. Both of them are much too strong for Hamed. Both of them would handle Hamed.
I'm sure Hamed would disagree with you.
Yeah, but the attraction of Hamed and Gatti was to make a bonanza of a showdown between 2 big stars. I don't think it's there yet with Manfredy. I'd be surprised if it happened.
All right. Thanks very much, Larry Merchant. One final boxing note we'd like to mention before we move forward, incidentally. Announcements earlier this week involving 2 of the most esteemed trainers in the long history of the sport. Lou Duva will be inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame at Canastota, New York this coming summer, and we want to certainly send along our congratulations to Lou. And Eddie Futch, at 86 years old, has finally announced his retirement from the sport. What a lot of memories Eddie leaves behind. Trainer of heavyweight champions more than once in his career. And Eddie, you were truly, truly great for as long as you've been with us, and we know you're going to be with us a lot longer as a fan as well. We'll be back with a final word on what happened in the ring in just a moment. Let's look ahead to some upcoming programs on HBO.